However, in order to actually see results, it's very possible that we will need to give up the system of economics of today. If we let economics be the ruling force in society, the risk is great that society will fail not only its weakest members, but also the world we all live on. Economical arguments and companies have one thing in common. Both strive to maximize profits while minimizing expenses. There is nothing wrong with that in and of itself. The problem arises when these principles get to rule society on the cost of all other values. Economical structures are not moral in nature. They have no concept of good or bad, right or wrong, and no compassion for people. Since most companies exist to not only manufacture, but to create profit for owners, they have no social responsibility to ensure that social or ecological costs are kept down. A company can choose to act in beneficial ways to create a good image, but beyond the limits imposed by law, are not obliged to take social, humane or ecological concerns into calculation. However, people depend on companies to work and income to make day-to-day life work. Clearly money rules. Surely we face a big problem when in essence the system has become the master and its inventor the people, the servants. How can we hope to make a society we would be proud to be a part of if our lives were ruled by a system that causes ever-growing problems? Perhaps laws could be made to restrict what companies can do. Perhaps a common currency and standardized prices within the companies for moving freely between countries to keep costs down. Or to make a profit from using harmful substances and toxins in the production process. Perhaps laws could also be made to redistribute how society uses its funds and ensure that more goes to reducing the negative impact on the environment, working against animal abuse, human abuse, poverty, starvation, homelessness, unemployment, and to work for education for all, and to promote women's and children's rights. To truly balance resources globally, however, one would likely need some form of global plan to make sure that a certain minimum requirements are met in production, and support areas where there is a lack, as well as ensure that distribution is made with an eye to the local situation. Rather than have the present situation where some parts of the world have more than they can use, while others are getting less resources than needed. It might also be helpful if people wish to keep the economic system to introduce shorter work hours, rotate works, and implement a citizen's wage that could potentially be lowered if the person refuses to take an education or work to serve society. Such a system might allow for greater safety, freedom, and happiness to the population. To create laws, there has to be a will to make a change though, and willingness to cooperate. Decide on common goals and work towards them from a set of values that can be agreed on as worthy. And to make for that push, I do believe it to be vital that people come together, start talking and see if they can either influence politicians or consider other solutions. And a good start might also be to start making changes in daily life and allow compassion for others to be a ruling force. I do think we can make a real difference if enough people decide to help out. And the world could be a better place for all as a result. Ultimately, it's up to each one to make the choices, do research to see what problems are in society and what we can do to help in whatever way we can. If we let our voices be heard and start working together, I think we might be amazed by what is achieved. We live on an amazing world full of plants and animal life, rich with culture and variation, and I wish I could see that a part of it all. The world could be such an amazing place to live in, free for all to enjoy and share, with respect and care. We may all need to change ourselves and its extension society to make it happen, but it will be worth it. The first step could be to face oneself and realize that we are all part of one people, unique, no matter how many different expressions it takes, and that we daily recreate society and the system we live in, and so ultimately we can change reality with small steps. Today we are surrounded by a set of structures that may seem set in stone, or taken for granted since they seem to become invisible. But they are created by people, daily recreated, and people can ultimately change the structures and use the rules of society. What we may need to realize is that just because things have been a certain way in the past, or appear to have been a certain way, does not mean that we have to go on that path and make the same mistakes over and over. Tradition doesn't make something right. It's people that create tradition and thus gives it meaning and content. What we have to realize is that we are all citizens of the world and children of a common ancestry. We are not consumers, customers, patients, or any of the labels put on us. We are people. All of us are unique in our own way and have something to contribute to the world. Once we realize that we all belong and can contribute, surely we can make life on Earth a happy experience for all. To conclude, always strive to be the best that you can be. Do the best you can, and trust that it is enough to be loved by even one person, if no one else has thanks for your efforts. Doesn't matter if it's a human or a cat or a dog that loves you, for surely love transcends all borders.